Alright, so here's our text window. As I said before, there's a lot of options. I'm just going to do a centered text, and all you need to do, and this is the case for most things in iMovie, is just drag and drop it right into the timeline. And when you do that, it gives you the option for a background. You can just make it plain black, which I'm going to do just because that's easy and not distracting at all. And once you have your title there, you can adjust what you want it to actually say in your viewer right here. But this even has its own clip adjustments, which is important actually because let me go. It'll automatically fade in and fade out at half a second each, but if you don't want it to do that, which a lot of times you won't, you can just go press manual and then put it to 0 seconds. Or 5 if you want it to be really long, drawn out. So here's the title I just made. So now let me talk about music really quickly. With all iMovie software, it comes with iMovie sound effects and iLife sound effects. iLife is basically like music, actual compositions that you can put underneath your video, for the most part. There's still some like just random sounds mixed in. iMovie, for the most part, is all of these like, just random sounds that you can put over your clips. And like I said, you can just drag and drop it anywhere and it'll automatically put it wherever your cursor is on the timeline. So that's simple enough. You can also just take any song that's on your iTunes and put it in there too. Really, any MP3 file or anything like that you can put just right into your timeline if it's in your iTunes. Like titles and like almost everything else in iMovie, you get a big window with thumbnails of what they do. So I just want to do a simple cross dissolve, and what you do is just put this between two clips and it'll automatically dissolve between the two of them. And what it does when it cross dissolves, it's taking the tail end of the first clip and the beginning of the second clip and mixing them together. So what it's really doing in the end is cutting away from both of the clips. So what you have to be mindful of is how long your cross dissolve lasts and how much footage you actually have. So one thing to be mindful of if you're gonna have a transition is to make sure that you have a second or two of buffer room at the end and the beginning of the two clips that you're transitioning. So again, you can edit your transition, how long it lasts, what kind of transition it is. You can change on the fly if you want it to be a different kind, and that goes for most other additive things in iMovie. So really, that is a lot of what comprises the general scheme of iMovie. It's very, very easy to just slap footage into your timeline from this bin. And to do it relatively precisely as well. It gives you the tools like the precision editor and the clip trimmer, as well as the ability to attach audio and to adjust the volume manually. Another thing a few things on the interface to just keep in mind, which I don't use personally very often, but are good to know. This is your audio monitor, which is somewhat important to make sure that you can tell that your audio is actually like audible. You have this ability to increase or decrease the size of your thumbnails. So if you want you can potentially make your clips divided up into small cells of a half second at the lowest and I guess 30 seconds at the highest amount. So that's something to keep in mind if you have a lot of footage, or if you have only a little bit of footage and you want to edit it very precisely, you can move it down to half a second, because then you can kind of see better where things cut off in the clip. Yeah, that's that. You can you can film yourself editing iMovie and then put it in your timeline if you want to do that. And this, you can use the built-in microphone. Basically, iMovie is like, since it's built in on all Macs, it's very cognizant of what a Mac can do. So pretty much anything that a Mac can do, they'll have a button for it in iMovie. In this case, the built-in camera and the built-in microphone. One very important thing before we go is the ability to make still frames in your clips. It's really simple. You just control click and you say add freeze frame, and that just makes it's automatically 4 seconds for some reason, but it makes a freeze frame of whatever your cursor was over. And with that, if you just wanted to have, for some reason, like a still photograph, you can go in here and then you can do these photo effects. Like you can crop it to be however big or small. Say I just wanted it to be of my friend Jacob's face, then you can do that. You can Ken Burns effect it, which is that effect that you see in Ken Burns and a lot of other documentaries where it starts out zoomed in or zoomed out on something and then slowly pans and zooms in on a photograph. So when you do that, you can see it slowly pans and zooms away from Jacob's face out to fill up the whole frame. So that's just a nifty little trick that is definitely worth knowing how to do. And with that, I think that pretty much covers most of the bases in terms of actually editing the footage. And then when you're done with editing and you have your canvas exactly how you want it, you can go and export it. And being a Mac product, it allows you to export it right to iTunes, right to iDVD, right to YouTube. But you can also just export it, and what you really should just do is just export it as a movie or as a QuickTime, so that you have the hard file, and then from there you can upload it to YouTube or Facebook or whatever you want to do from there. And that's a very important step, because if you got a product and you want to share it, then you got to know how to do that. Okay, so that kind of concludes the iMovie demo. Again, this is Jack Berkley, president of the UVA Filmmakers Society, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to try and contact me. My email is jrb9ve@virginia.edu.